So imagine, if you will, you're chilling on a Friday night and you get an email from the government. And the email is coming from a hr@opm.gov. You check it out, make sure it's official like all of these people did. And you're reading through it and you're saying that you have to respond back to this email and tell this person on the other side of this email 5 things you accomplished last week. And if you don't, it'll be termed or received as you don't work anymore and that you're resigning. Besides the fact that there is a mountain of legal, constitutional, labor laws, and just common decency, because if this is anything, this is a bad boss move, right? And that's something that you have to really be able to be comfortable with. If you've been licking the boots of Elon Musk and Donald Trump, you have to be okay with saying that you're okay with bosses, leaders, managers, owners doing shit like this on a whim. Besides the fact that you don't pay me to work on the weekends, I digress. But let's say you receive this email and you're a common citizen. And while it's not my job to involve myself with the government, it is important to know, just because you don't fuck with the government doesn't mean the government can't fuck with you. So what if I decided to look up a repository on Github that would allow you to send over 1,000 emails to any random email you choose, whether it's on Yahoo, Gmail, or even Hotmail for what it's worth, Outlook as well. And then hypothetically, you took Gronk and asked it 500 things, right? What if you asked Gronk to do that, and then you use that configuration to send out a bunch of random emails like these people did? And since the email is public and anyone can respond to it, I think it's not only appropriate, but I think everyone should have an opportunity to tell the government what they did last week. Not just the 2 million people being terrorized by Elon Musk and Trump right now, but everybody. So, through no volition of my own, you guys are a bunch of strangers. This isn't advice, nor is this legal advice. But if you were given all of these things and had the capacity to, send emails to tell a very curious group of people what you've been up to with only 17 clicks of your mouse, I'm curious to know what you would send Elon. Clap it up. How we doing? Hopefully you guys are alright. My name is Hero. This is Coding with Strangers, and I wanna talk about something. Yeah. It goes without saying, we're not a political channel, but when we get the chance to talk about tech, gaming, or some type of, anything I really want to, actually, we're going to do it, all right? We're going to give the people what they want. We're going to give the people what they want. Let's talk about cybersecurity, federal security, privacy laws, and a host of other things that have gone probably awry since the DOGE team has decided to take over. This is a travesty what's going on, but I want to get a better understanding for what it is. And just in case you don't know what it is, but if you work with a federal employee or you know somebody who works in the federal world, this email was very alarming. DOGE email throws federal agencies into chaos and confusion. On Saturday, employees throughout the federal government received an email from the Office of Personnel Management, OPM, demanding a reply approximate 5 bullets of what you accomplished last week. On X, Elon Musk posted that failure to respond will be taken as resignation. The results: confusion, chaos, and resentment among the federal workforce, and increasingly feels under attack. Yeah, the federal workforce. Okay, hold on a second. We want to talk about that word, Federal workers. And it's crazy that federal workers are shocked that this is happening. Seeing as how a lot of the federal workers did vote for Trump. You voted for this. This is what you wanted. This is what you asked for. This is what you're getting. Pure research tells us that the key factors about union members in the 2024 election, just this short little graph explains it all, really. When it comes to all voters, we did have a 1% lead, but on November, the day of the election, it was 47-47. That means half of everybody in the federal government, a little over half, a little under half, voted for Trump. A little under than half of the people complaining, getting fired. I think over 60,000 people have been fired. 20,000 accepted the layoff, and they're crying about it. So I have struggled, and I know I'm wrong for this. I know I feel bad about this, but I have to I gotta get this anger out of me somehow. And there's a part of me that is perfectly fine with seeing these people suffer. And I feel horrible for saying this. There's a gleeful ignorance about them. To think that they were beyond reproach. It reminds me of the girl who went to one of the Turks and Caicos and went to go take a selfie with a shark. And when the shark proceeded to do what sharks do, she lost both her hands. And there's a part of me that's just gleeful about it, because the thing that nearly took her life, she'll never be able to do again. Take a selfie. Good. Great. I'm okay with it. Like, medicine and seatbelts have gone too far. Medicine and seatbelts have literally ruined the gene pool. There's pee in the pool, and we got to clean that shit. And I feel bad about saying that. I do. Back to the story. Leaders of many agencies appear to have been caught off guard as the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, which houses the National Weather Service, some managers initially cautioned against replying to the email in case it was phishing attempt. Another NOAA employee says that they were cautious not to log on to their work email after receiving it. That's crazy. Because people literally had to come to Reddit to talk about this, right? All these people came to Reddit because they were like, yo, is this real? Other workers who were met with conflicting guidance from their managers as the National Institute of Standards and Technology, with the anticipation of deep cuts orchestrated by the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. Some employees reported being told to await further guidance, while others say their managers instructed people to comply. The email appeared to have been sent even to federal judges. We understand that some judges and judiciary's staffs have received an email from hr@opm.gov. Read an email from the Director's Office of Department Administration Services for the U.S. Federal Courts. Please be advised that this email did not originate from the judiciary or the administrative office, and we suggest that no actions be taken. At least some military personnel also received the email and have been told to await guidance from the Department of Defense. The holding pattern appears to be the response at most agencies, where workers say that they have not heard from senior leadership if and how they should handle the latest escalation from Elon. And the thing that's kind of crazy is, this is how you know what to do. The people who were just brought into the government, so little Marco Rubio, the new FBI director, Tulsi Gabbard, the Russian spy, Scarlet Widow, as I like to call her, and a host of other people that have been just brought on, RFK Jr. and so on and so forth. Those people have told their staff directly not to respond to it. So it's a dog-eat-dog world, and if they're basically sending this to people to do it. And what's so interesting is in this Reddit thread, they talk about how the thread that in the email they can track everyone who responds to it, and basically just put all of those people into a Excel spreadsheet and just hash map them and search to remove them to see if their salary meets a certain limit, cut them off the top. Set a salary limit and cut them off the top. That's what you would do. And it's kind of crazy to think that that's what would happen, but there is a part of me that feels like this is so illegal. This is so illegal, and the lawsuit that's going to come from this, I mean, might as well take a year off and have a vacation while you're at it. But it's just the mindless self-indulgence. Like, what is the purpose behind this? And I sit here with confusion, but it's to keep the Democrats busy. This is cannon fodder. This is Rita Repulsa's and the Putt-Putt Rangers, the Putt-Putt men, before the Megazords come out. This is cannon fodder. It doesn't matter, but this keeps those Democrats busy doing this so that they can't pay attention and fight and put up messaging. Because something that's painfully clear is that the Democrats have been caught way on their back foot, super on their back foot. But then also, this allows so many things to happen that I don't think that the government is really ready. Besides the fact that you can do an injection through an email and proxy that email or use it to embed a link that will then give you access. This is one of the hugest breaches in security that we're probably in present. And when they talk about like infrastructure being shut down and things being hacked and things being destroyed, no one's going to talk about like this being the origin of it. Us literally exposing internal emails with the public and that being the cause of it, right? No one's going to talk about that with a sense of disdain and agonizing pain towards the administration currently in power. It's overkill, right? It's overkill, and it's going to become super problematic. While Musk has publicly presented himself as responsible for the emails and is the only source of force at resignation threat, it's unclear under what authority he would be able to fire federal employees, because he has no, this article is even written in a way that's like, he has no authority to do this. Why leave it to chance? Able to fire federal employees will over an email response. The White House has asserted in court documents that Musk is a senior advisor rather than an administrator of DOGE, meaning DOGE doesn't have a leader, nobody from the official government who leads DOGE, or otherwise in position of real power. Like other seniors in White House advisory, Mr. Musk has no actual or formal authority to make government decisions himself, the director of the White House Office of Administrators wrote in a sworn statement. So he can't do anything. So why are people responding to him? Why is someone who isn't an elected official dictating what happens in our government? It's almost as if people with a lot of money actually rule our government. Who'd have thunk it, right? But the people who are suffering from this, it does put a smile, like it does hurt me a little bit, because I know people who work in the government. I have people that I know that work in the government, and I've seen them struggle. And I'm going to ask you to struggle a little bit more. I'm going to ask you to struggle a little bit more, maybe a lot more, because until we get on this unified system of realizing that people who have billions in their bank account have no vested interest in you ever seeing the light of day in a comfortable way. It's just not going to happen. It's not within their capacity. They won't let it happen. Until we come together as a collective group of people and stomp that noise out, this shit has to ride. Unapologetically, it has to ride. It has to ride. It sucks, but that's just my perspective on it. Let me know what you think. Obviously, this is atrocious, but did you send an email? Did you like? Did you share? Did you come from the Vikings? Do you take people's lands?